Hello, hello. The Bloodlust is live. Yes, we are streaming at 3 o'clock today instead of the regular 2:30 because I'm a lazy. I was actually gonna sleep all day. Literally, I had planned on like hibernating, but I then realized that today is Tuesday. Can't let everybody down. We got a few people that are actually looking forward to the Tuesday streams. So we're going to hop into it. I appreciate anyone who is here, anyone who's viewing the Trackmania content, who does enjoy the reviews. Hello, hello. Thanks for popping in. So we're going to jump into some Trackmania today. If you are new to the channel, we do Trackmania reviews every Tuesday. Check out the previous world records, and we go through the new tracks. We check them out, see what they got going on, try to see if we can't learn some cool routes. Christmas Eve, yes indeed. Yeah. That is true, yeah. I was thinking about it. Thursday is Christmas. Yeah, it's coming at us fast. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to everyone, for sure. Thank you again for being here. If you're watching over on YouTube, unfortunately right now, I am only able to do the vertical output over on YouTube. We are streaming to the Shorts feed. If you would like to see the full horizontal output, check out the link in the description. We are live over on Twitch. You can check me out there. We got horizontal view and full access. For now though, we're just going to check out the weekly shorts. 266 through 270. Week 54 is what we got going on now. We of course are going to start out with the reviews of last week. 261 through 265, week 53. They actually had some really fun tracks in this one. Unfortunately, I did not get a grind at all. Last week we had most of our family's festivities, Christmas parties and stuff like that at home, so I was not able to grind. I have had a good day today. Yes, how about you? Thanks for asking. Yeah, like I said, I was gonna sleep all day today, but ended up having to wake up, realize it's Tuesday, we're doing the stream. Oh, gotta close the door, hold on. Lots of noises starting out in the other room. Okay, so we're gonna start with 261 of week 53. This is Stay Down. I did enjoy this track. It was, it's kind of a smooth, skill track. The idea here is to make it across every one of those high points as quickly as possible without losing contact. That's why, of course, it's called Stay Down. We can see here, we're gonna do a quick solo drive. So you wanna get as low in every section as possible. You wanna go a little high here so you can catch some extra speed. And if you can clip that grass just right, give yourself a quantum slide, which is a neat little trick. Call it the quantum slide because you're in a superposition of contact or full contact and drifting. So that's a neat little trick that some people use. I'm going to expect there will be some kind of speed slide, quantum slide, some sort of drifty action combo here on this track, but as you can see, as I said, it is a very simple track, just trying to maintain as much speed and contact as you can throughout the whole thing. It is pretty fun, not maybe my favorite track of all time, but I do enjoy it. Not a ton of bull crap, really tight spaces. That's one thing I'm not great with tech and all the super tight spaces, so we're gonna go ahead and check out the records here. Of course, I finished number 48 in Oregon. Doesn't even get me inside the top 13K in the United States. we're gonna check out, we got Ingler, Seaward, Solavagance, Walking Cat, and Dour Giggle-Mesh. Okay, some people have hilarious names. So we're gonna start with Giggle-Mesh, Walking Cat, and Solavagance with Giggle-Mesh's perspective. Going super far to the right there, almost losing contact with the ground. Nice tight corner, keeping as much contact as they can, going a little high just for some speed, clipping that corner even, riding up on the white, and barely making it into the finish line there without flying off the handle. Now this is definitely a great combination of all three of those things that I was talking about. There is no slide there though. I'm kind of surprised. I was expecting some kind of speed slide, quantum slide, something like that, but they are actually managing to keep full contact all the way across. No slide, absolutely full speed from start to finish. Little bit of a slide there in the transition, but that's kind of to be expected. 15,673 for Giggle-Mesh there. Let's go ahead with Walking Cat's perspective. Actually, we're going with Solavagant's perspective and Seawind here. They go really wide to the right so they can cut back, get a nice straight line across that section. Coming in, cutting the corner really low onto that white line, keeping full contact across that section through the transfer and straight into the finish line. Beautiful run, only 2,000 separating them. It is 15,666 and 15,664. Even Walking Cat's only 2,000 behind Solavagance. That was Solavagance and Seawind. Seawind in second place with a 15,664. You can see it looks like Solavagance is just barely behind him, just the tiniest bit, pretty much the whole way across. Solavagance starts out a little behind, but gets a slight bit more speed across that section and manages to keep that lead all the way to the finish. So we're gonna go Solavagance and Ingler's perspective here. Solavagance going super, or the Seawind, sorry, Seawind and Ingler. Seawind going super far to the right, Ingler going really high up the hill to catch a little bit more speed down this section. Both of them clipping that corner, keeping contact, and Ingler doing a little bit of a wiggle up the hill there to keep contact and getting into the finish line. Almost a full 100th ahead of Seawind. Doesn't seem like a lot, but on a tiny track like this, that is a huge lead. Doing a little bit of wiggle there. Let's go ahead and just go from Ingler's perspective. Watch him go down the track. So Ingler keeping contact with his front tires, doing a little bit of wiggle down there, riding across the white line and go really high up here to catch some extra speed. Going really close to that upright, clipping the corner, riding the white line. Beautiful transfer, no slide, a little bit of a wiggle up that section to keep contact and directly into the finish line. Beautiful, clean, almost near perfect run. Excellent work. What's up, Nat? Thanks for popping in. Good to see you. Unfortunately, as I said, we are stuck to the vertical output on YouTube today, so if you're looking for the horizontal output, go ahead and hop on over to Twitch. Why are you doing stream short style? As I just said, I do not. I have to pay. I have to pay $30 a month in order to do the horizontal output on multiple platforms. Unfortunately, Christmas and stuff, I just don't have the extra money left over. So this is what we got. If you want to see the horizontal output, head on over to Twitch. It's down in the description. Link to my channel's down there. You can see the full horizontal output over on Twitch. Yes, sir. Thank you for being here, though. I always greatly appreciate it. How's it going? You know, actually, to be honest, I did this stream today because of you. I'm being 100% fully serious about that, too. I was actually going to just sleep today. I was totally getting ready for it. I was gonna hibernate like my mom. I don't know, she does that sometimes. She'll sleep for like 36 hours at a time, even longer than that actually. But I was just gonna hibernate today, but then I thought about it. I was all like, nah, I can't. I got people relying on me. I got 11-year-old in West Virginia that's excited about my Tuesday streams. Can't let him down. you don't have Twitch. Okay, well, I understand that. I know, as you're not allowed to have your own accounts, which honestly is pretty based by your parents, and it's just, you know, keeps you safe. It's better that way, trust me. You don't need to be getting mixed up in that so early. In any case, that was week 53 stay down. It was 256, I think. 251? I think it's 251. Yeah. Week 53 stay down. Well done to everybody there on the top 5. That is Dower Gigglemash, Walking Cat, Sullivan, Seawind, and Inglare. Everybody's got some hilarious names in this game, I swear. North Carolina. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I was kind of close. I know that there's about, 300 or 400 miles separating them. I understand. I apologize. I knew it was over there in that general area, though. Wasn't trying to dox you. Great work to everybody. Thank you for participating. We're going to head over to the next one. That was Stay Down, track 1 of week 53. We're now track 2, Ambothar Technial. Ambothar Technial. Something about technical. I don't know what language that is. It seems like a made-up language. We're gonna do a quick run on this. So this one is a tech track, all about precision drifting, which I am terrible at drifting in this game. I am not prepared for the drift style here. Somehow though, my first attempt freaking almost nailed that. I only had to release like once or twice. That was incredible. Actually, I'm pretty proud of myself for that. So we're gonna keep that run for the example. We're not gonna continue to embarrass ourselves. That was a nice quick run through there. Almost managed to beat my PB, but had to slow down a little bit in that last turn. So as you can see, this one is kind of a transitional drift tech. I say transitional just because of the way that some things are shaped, and there's a bunch of different styles of platform that you are swapping between. And this little gap right here, oh my gosh, that gap is actually way more trouble than you might think it is. But we're gonna go ahead and check out the records. We got Shark Eric, Adjust EKZ, Key TM, Sky T1, and Exosum. Some of these names you recognize. Key TM, Sky T1, never seen them before. Don't even really know who Shark Eric is either, but congratulations for making it in the top 5 in a weekly. That is definitely worth writing home about. So we got a Shark Eric and Adjust EKZ and Key TM all going here. So let's actually start that again. They go real tight to the left, almost running off the edge there. Nice smooth landing, going straight across that section. Tight drift, barely missing each one of these corners. Nice and straight through that part, catching the low section and an early drift so they can get a nice quick turn into the finish there. Shark Eric though was ahead of all three of them, or was ahead of both Key TM and Adjust EKZ, but that air time into the finish was enough to lose him speed. Barely 4 thousandths behind Adjust. Key TM there, another 200ths ahead. Keeping contact with the ground makes a huge difference. Of course, if you are not in contact with the ground, you are not accelerating. The goal is to accelerate. Xbox Party. Sure. We can go ahead and party up and do a little bit of hunting together. Happy Christmas and Merry Year. I love it, yeah. Merry Christmas, man. That was Adjust EKZ Key TM. The reason I wanted to watch these two is because they, right there at the finish, managed to keep more contact. Adjust though, catching a tiny bit of airtime KTM getting a slightly smoother turn around that section. Multi-drift there. Really tight through that section. KTM keeping much more speed through each section. Much more sure about their drifts. Not as many adjustments. Ironically, of course, it is called, one guy's name is Adjust EKZ, so we could expect the adjustments. But KTM going a little bit wide there. Much more sure about their line, going straighter through that section, managing to get them into the finish 2/100ths faster. So we go KTM and Sky T1 here. Sky going really close to that edge. Nice, tight through each section. Sky managing to stay full contact with the ground all the way through. Nice, tight line there, keeping a ton of speed. Making it all the way up through that section without any air time almost. Looks like everybody does catch a tiny bit of air time before the finish, but the wider line is the faster line as you are staying in contact with the ground throughout that whole section. This last turn right here, right there. Sky T1 managing to get in 14 thousandths ahead of KTM. Very close records this week. They are all pretty close to each other. Adjust EKZ-ments. Adjustments indeed. That was KTM, Sky T1. Let's go Sky T1 and Exosum here. Of course, they are the first and second, the record holders this week. Nice and smooth through that section. Barely missing that wall. Exosum risking every turn. Keeping a ton of speed into the finish and full contact into the finish line. Managing to get in, once again, 14 thousandths separating Sky T1 and Exosum. Same amount of time separating KTM and Sky T1. 14,000 separating everybody. These are some incredibly precise runs, barely missing that corner, using the front tire lift to adjust themselves into the new drift angle going down that second turn, and making it up the last turn there with as much speed as absolutely possible, staying in contact with the ground, right there, lifting up their front tire. Multi-drift, beautiful line. Exosum going a little bit tighter through that section and getting ahead just a couple of tire lengths sooner than Sky T1. Excellent work to everybody there. That was Shark Eric, Adjust EKZ, KTM, Sky T1, and Exosum. Absolutely beautiful run. That was week 53, number 2, and Mbathar Technial. Something like that. I do not know how to read that language. We're going to move on to the next one. As you can see, I made it a number 86 in Oregon. Not the greatest score I've ever had. Again, I did not have a chance to grind any of these tracks. Last week we had all of our family Christmas stuff going on. Excuse me. So I was very busy spending all of my money and all of my time getting set up for that. This one's fun. This is, of course, the Pathfinder track, Hell's Highway. There is a lot here. Some fun little paths in a couple of different directions. There's some fun styles here, dirt style, and there's some grass and a few tech sections. Of course, there's probably about like 50 different paths you can take. You can even start out backwards here. If we do it right here, hold on. We go. Ice? Oh yeah, no, it's this next section. Okay. So we back up through this. Keep going backwards all the way across. And then if you do it just right. Oh crap. Gotta turn a little bit later there. The only reason I'm doing this one is because it's a fun path. There we go. Perfect timing on that turn. And then there's a bunch of different paths that you can take down here. You can go up over here, do a little roof hit into this section, and there's a finish right there. And as I said, there's a bunch of different paths back here. The really cool thing about this Pathfinder track, at least in my opinion, is that there are actually multiple different, like completely different routes that you can take. Multiple different ways to kind of break the map. I'm assuming that there's got to be at least a couple of transition paths that you can take to get from one path to another. My favorite part about this track, actually, kind of funny for like no reason at all, is these little tea lights. I like these candles. They are hilarious. They are like perfectly designed to look like tea lights, and I don't know why, I just love them. And the reflections are actually pretty good too. They're great reflections on that. Kind of a surprise to see reflections like that in this game, I don't know why. But anyway, so this is the path that I found. You go around this section, keep as much speed as you can through this dirt, nice tight turn there onto that section. And I tested a few different routes through here. There might be a way to jump off of the edge of the map and bounce yourself back into the finish, but I'm not exactly sure how you would accomplish that. Maybe off of that rock right there. But you could possibly skip that spiral down to the finish there. You came off of this section between one of those signs right there and bounced yourself off that rock. Might take you into the finish line, get there a lot quicker. Nice tight line here. Drift down that one. Try not to hit the wall if you can. And there's our finish line. That is the fastest path that I have discovered. But of course, we're going to check out the records here. Actually, before we do that, we can do a quick overview. All the dragons and stuff. That's honestly my favorite part of this track, is all the dragons. It is a great aesthetic. They did a good job of making it feel like ancient ruined, like Castle Valley or something like that. It almost reminds you of like Minas Tirith almost from like Lord of the Rings, you know. It's got a fun aesthetic to it. Definitely put a lot of time into it, I would say. It's a great design. Love the little demon dudes standing with their pitchforks. Hilarious. Anyway, it's a great track. I enjoy it. We're gonna check out the records. We got Brunson TM, I think, Jozo TM, Base TTV, Nuclear, and Techie. Techie taking first place on this one. Excellent work. Holy crap, though, they're 5.5 seconds ahead of me. I'm kind of mind blown, wondering how they possibly even did that. 5.5 seconds. It just does not even seem possible to me, unless they must have transitioned between one section to another. So we're gonna start with Bronson's perspective. They go to the left this way instead of going to the middle, and then oh, I didn't even see this path. And then, what? They like hit a finish that's clipping through. What? Once again, another week where everybody's sharing their finishes. There's no way that a whole group of people discovered that. What a finish. They are clipping. How does it even count? It doesn't even make sense to me. They're clipping under the ground and like catching the corner of their tire on this upright, but How? I don't understand even how. That's crazy. Yeah, how did they just do that? I got myself clipped through the ground, unfortunately. That's hilarious. I don't understand how that even works. Wow. All right, well, that's Bronson, Jozo, and base TTV. Nice tight turn from the start there, keeping all of their speed, maintaining contact up that little bump there, and bouncing off of that rock into the finish under the track. I am mind blown here. That's crazy to me. I don't even understand how that's possible. I seriously don't understand how that's possible, but great work to them. Yeah, and yeah, the finish hitbox, I get that, but I just don't understand where, like, how it's overlapping for them to catch it like that. That just doesn't even make sense. Like, the angle that they come at, I just don't understand how they're able to hit it. It doesn't, like, I was just looking through the wall and everything, like, it doesn't clip through that much. They have to, like, go around it and come back. Freaking crazy finish. Honestly, getting really tired of seeing all of those shares. You can definitely tell when it's something like this, like, they didn't, like, all these people didn't just figure this out on their own. Like, somebody shared this path. And I really hate that. Like, I feel like that should be disqualification, honestly, for the weeklies. It seems wrong to me. Like, the whole point is that it's supposed to be hidden and you're supposed to, you know, use your own skill and your own technique and knowledge to try to beat the dude ahead of you and figure, like, you don't even get to see their times, so, like, it's supposed to be a secret and everything, but when people are just sharing all of their routes, it's kind of shitty in my opinion. But this is Nuclear and base TTV. Really smooth path all the way across, skipping that grass. Nuclear keeping more speed into the finish, jumping a little bit lower, just finishing ahead. Or, yeah, just finishing ahead of base TTV, thanks to that extra speed. And then we got Techie. Nuclear and Techie. Looks like Techie's going a little bit wide so that he can come back there, skipping most of that grass, keeping a ton more speed, going a little bit wider there, bouncing off that rock, getting in 52 thousandths, 500ths ahead. Beautiful bounce. I still don't understand. Just bouncing off of the backside of that rock is really interesting. I still don't understand. Like, because they have to bounce off of that rock and come back under the ground. Like, it just doesn't even look like it should be possible. But great work to Techie, Nuclear, base TTV, Jozo TM, Bronson TM. Great work to everybody. That was track number 3, Hell's Highway. Pathfinder track. We are going to move on to track 4 here. You don't think it was shared. You got it, but didn't think it was possible. Yeah, I mean, I had the thought that there probably was a path cut, like, from one path to another there. I never would have seen that. Wouldn't have even crossed my mind. So this one's a lot of fun. I did enjoy this track, and I had fun with what I'm assuming is the intended path here. But the problem is that there are some potential time saves or some potential track cuts that you can do here. The first one I saw was through this fence. If you can get through that fence at just the right angle, you can shoot yourself down to the first checkpoint and skip this entire first turn. Though who knows if that is actually worth it. It could cost you more time in the long run, depending on how you land. And then this one, nice and wide there. Keep as straight as you possibly can through each section and into the early finish there. It was actually kind of hard to see until going through this track a couple times, but on here, it looks like it stopped. Just had a little bit of a spike, I guess. Anyway, the intended path is pretty fun. Of course, you want to try to come straight off of every one of these wood sections as possible, keeping as much speed as you can into the finish line. It is definitely a very fast track. The wood sections are fun. I do enjoy the style. It's slightly kind of a precise sort of thing. But we got Christian, SCM, Techie, Vex, MT, Senv, I don't know, Galenium. Some interesting names this week. Some of them I definitely do not recognize, but we're going to start with Christian, SCM, Techie, and Vex. We're going to go from Christian's perspective, and they bounce off of the left side, skipping the reset and keeping the boost through that first section. Seems so simple. So much speed into the finish. Nice low finish there. Excellent work by Christian with that nice low finish. Techie and Vex just a little bit faster through the rest of it though. Techie carrying a ton of speed through that last checkpoint. Crazy speed. Let's watch from Techie's perspective here. Bouncing off of that, getting a nice downhill landing, maybe even a minor zoom. Just getting so much speed, almost over 900, almost maximum speed at the end there. Holy crap. Nice downhill landing, keeping all of his speed through the section. 750, 890, 900, breaking a 980, almost maxing out before the finish there. Holy cow. What a crazy run that was. Excellent work, Christian, SEM, Vex, Techie. So let's go from Vex perspective with MT Sen. Vex getting a nice low landing there, keeping a ton of speed, but it looks like MT Sen coming back, much more speed from that downhill section and getting an even lower finish. Excellent work. Let's see what MT Sen did there. Nice low landing, lands all the way at the top, gets all of that downhill. So much speed through this section. 890, 903, 985, and almost as low as you can get into the finish line there. That was crazy. Gale is new reactor god, huh? Well, we're gonna check out Galenium. Galenium is a full second, over a full second ahead of Sen. Let's see what Galenium did here. We'll put Sen in the background. Going through the fence, I called it. Oh my god, what is that? Oh my god, what a crazy run! Holy cow, Galenium going through the fence, flipping upside down, bouncing off of his nose, reversing momentum, landing in the second turn, and straight into the finish there. Oh my, holy cow, what a run! I was right, you go through the fence. Oh my god, though, the precision, that is crazy. There is a huge amount of luck in that and a fair amount of precision. There is so much control in that reverse turn. Holy cow, Galenium, oh my god. Literally leaving everyone else in the dust, not even close. What a crazy run. Holy cow. That reactor flight is legendary. Holy shit, dude. New biggest gap from first to second in a short? Is it? I don't know. That's a pretty big gap though. 1.116 seconds. Oh my god, what an incredible run. So much speed. See, the thing is though, he doesn't even have, he's only at 300, but he's skipping so much of that section, lands with 830 speed. He is actually behind everybody, 940 there. He actually is slower. Galenium is slightly slower than everybody else, but he just skips so much of that track, picking up that first checkpoint on his nose and going through the last two turns with so much speed, so much distance, like a god. Oh my, holy cow. Excellent run, absolutely excellent run. Mind-blowing run even. Jeez, well done, Galenium. That is, I mean, that's just impressive. That is pretty mind-blowing, I'm not gonna lie. I knew it was the fence, but getting that angle, like there, it's totally like a luck thing. You have to clear that fence without, oh, almost, oh my, no way. Wow. If I hadn't have freaking bounced off of that wall, I actually would have, wow. That's crazy. I totally almost just did it by accident. Wow. Excellent run by everybody there. I can't believe I just freaking did that, actually. That was cool, the way that I got flipped back around there. I lost a ton of speed, unfortunately, but that was fun. Possibly the new biggest gap. We got Christian, SCM, Techie, Vex, MT Sen, and Galenium. Absolutely excellent work to everybody there. Galenium, just mind-blowing run with that reactor. That reactor flight was uncanny. Honestly, like, never would have seen that coming. Absolutely amazing. Excellent work to everybody there. Beautiful run. Love to see it. That was track 4, Hydrogen, Hydro Dam. Moving on to track number 5, week 53. This is Cube World. Now, this one's a little interesting. The way that the camera moves almost makes you feel like the car is stationary, and when you turn, you're like turning the world. I don't know how to describe it. It's just, that's how it feels. It's very weird. The way that the camera moves is just odd on this track. It's very interesting, but everything actually has a magnet under it, so that you can maintain contact. And it is a very difficult path that you have to take here. The thing about, the thing about each one of these mediums is that because of the magnet block, it actually kind of nullifies a lot of the friction. It's a weird physics interaction, but you can actually keep much more speed through each one of these sections than it seems like. And there's a few different ways to go about this. Of course, there's 3 different paths. It is a cube, so you can drive on either side. This one is the snow side. I actually never managed to get a finish on this one. You kind of have to drive around a lot. The sand path, you can go much straighter. You want to avoid the dips if you can, but you can also go straight across here. There is another somewhat pretty fast path. If you go straight across here, go to the right through that section, and if you can stay straight, maintain your speed, you can probably get through the finish really quick with that one. But I'm going to wager, I guess, that somebody probably figured out how to fling themselves, like get a magnet toss, and like skipped one side of the track. But we're gonna find out. You got the strat first try? Oh, okay. I guess I must be slacking. I got 38K, 2 seconds, almost exactly behind the world record holder. So we're gonna start from Jonas Coldplay Arctic Expert's perspective with Jonas in the back here. The pink and yellow skin. Nice and straight through that section. Wiggle across the sand. Going left into the ice path, straight through that house, and yep, a magnet yeet into the finish. Wiggling across the sand there. I don't know how I didn't see that. Straight through those houses and a magnet yeet into the finish. Just a... It's very simple, actually. There's not really a lot to commentate on here. It's a very simple run, nice and clean through that corner, straight through that house, and lifting up their front tires because they're just going so fast, but the magnet tossing them into the finish line. It is a straight line from that transition to the finish. Not quite the magnet yeet I was expecting, but definitely was a magnet yeet into the finish. Did call that. That was Jonas Coldplay, Arctic Expert. Let's go from Arctic Expert with Solovagance here. Arctic Expert's perspective, of course. Looks like they go nice and straight through this grass section. Little wiggle across the sand, trying to keep as low friction as possible, straight through this house section and yeet into the finish. Arctic Expert, though, turns to the right a little bit before that. Kind of sacrifices their angle. Looks like they were actually pretty much even with Solovagance, but Solovagance managed to get in there much straighter, thus having slightly less distance to the finish line. Nice little wiggle there. Looks like Oscar Bay going nice and tight to the left, keeping that downhill and yeeting them into the finish line there perfectly straight. Oscar Bay actually utilizing the geometry a little bit, keeping that downhill section there to gain themselves just a tiny bit of extra speed into the finish. Excellent work. You know, I had the thought that you could go through this ice section and skip that, but I figured the snow would slow you down so much because everything else does. But then again, like I said, the magnet blocks kind of nullify the tire effect. You do get a little bit of the friction, but it doesn't slow you down nearly as much as it would normally, and you don't get dirty tires, you don't get icy tires. And I saw that gap, but that wood pile for some reason told me it just wasn't possible. I don't know why. which is kind of dumb, I guess, but what a beautiful run. Nice and smooth. Straight across. Oscar Bay using that downhill to the advantage and getting in there 100th ahead of Solivagance. Absolutely beautiful run by Jonas Coldplay, Arctic Expert, Solivagance, and Oscar Bay. That magnet eat is kind of wild. I do want to actually try that once. Little wiggle there to save our speed. Through that and smash into the tree, of course. And then they magnet eat themselves into the finish from here. Nice, easy path. Actually, if I hadn't smashed into the tree, I probably would have been like right behind him there. That definitely would have been a PB. Let's try this again. Little wiggle there. Straight across the left side. Use the downhill to our advantage and smash into that tree again. That downhill kind of just automatically like tosses you towards that tree, so you gotta turn in the opposite direction to avoid that. That was Cube World Track 5 of week 53. Well done to everybody. Of course, records. Looks like number 1 is Techie. Techie managed to make it in top 5 on 3 different tracks this week. 2 tracks? 3 tracks? 2 tracks, but probably pretty close on a couple others. Exosum, Oscar Bay, Glenium, and Inglair pulling in the top 5 for points score this week. You can't see it there with my camera in the way, and I'm not going to worry about switching that, but excellent work to everybody for week 53. Now we're going to head into the discovery of week 54. We got filing a complaint. That's hilarious. Is this like HR? Week 54, filing a complaint. Already confusing me. Okay, so we don't go all that low. Hit some of that sand, definitely want to avoid that. And that's a jump up. This is an interesting track. Oop, yep, too much of an angle there. Low, and then whoop, try to, yeah. Maybe too much, maybe too much speed, or more to the left. Let go, release the gas a little bit for a lower landing there. It looks like there's 2 paths to this one. Oh, you could toss yourself right into the finish with that. Totally. Okay, so this one looks like a pretty easy track, not gonna lie. Here, and then we go, and then release a little bit so we can get a slightly lower landing. Ton of speed into the finish. Boom! There we go. That was easy. Of course, getting the author medal first try. Oh yeah. Yeah. We had a couple of players that definitely were getting the point score every week. Even if they didn't show up as a world record holder, they were near the top 10 enough that they managed to get the point score. Okay, got a little bit more speed through that one. A little bit of a lower landing with slightly more speed into the finish. Yo, 8 thousandths, the tiniest bit of an improvement there. Number 161 in Oregon, holy cow. So it looks like we got some serious competition on this one. This is of course a really short track, so any tiny little improvement will make a difference. Nice low landing there for a lot more speed into the finish here. Boom, 217, huge improvement. Still Not even in the top 100. We can definitely improve that though. Okay. Nice straight through this. Oh, hit the dang fence. So we go as tight as we can around this fence. Want to get a nice tight turn here through this section. Reduce our distance as much as possible. Nice straight line here, close to the fence. And we low jump there for a ton of speed out of that and carry that into the finish. Boom, another 270. That's half a second in 2 attempts. Interesting. So there may even be some more tricks here that we're missing. Okay, so we want to keep a straight line through that section so we don't lose contact. So we want to go a little bit to the right. Low jump, keeping all of our speed, and into the finish line for a 108 improvement. Oh, okay. Still not inside the top 100. Looks like Oregon players are freaking putting up the effort this week. 15,873, 11K. Also have the right line. Yeah, this seems like a pretty obvious path. They definitely didn't make this one. They didn't make this one very hidden. Perfectly even through that. What did I? How did I hit the fence? That's crazy. Massive slowdown for nothing right there. Nice uphill. A little bit of an improvement there. Perfect low landing. And straight into the finish for a 278, 15.9. Oh, almost shot myself into the top 50 in Oregon. We can freaking improve that still. Go nice there. Boom. A little bit of an improvement. 2000s through there. Nice low jump. Oh, too low. We got the idea now though. Super low jump through that section so that we can keep our speed, accelerate sooner, as soon as absolutely possible. Once again, just slightly too low. I'm thinking that jump and the first turn are probably going to be the biggest improvements for us. Boom, look at that. There we go. And into the finish. Boom! 15.826. Oh, shot ourselves up into the top 20 in Oregon on that one. All right, well, we can actually, this one seems pretty easy to improve compared to some of the others. Go nice, low jump. Oh, too high that time. Way too high and not tight enough to the left. So that jump definitely is going to make the biggest difference here. Nope. Dang. We need to land really low in that section. Nice early turn there. Tight here. Too much speed. Holy, wow. We're actually jumping higher than we were before now. There we go. A little bit of a slide, unfortunately. Definitely want to avoid that slide if possible. Nice line there. Oh, little high, unfortunately. Good line into the finish, though. If we can replicate that on a good run. 15.781, huh? All right. Nice low. Nope. Still too high. Oof. Hit that wall. This track actually might be good to attempt in first person. Oh, again, 200s through that section. I was doing so good, and now I'm freaking messing up my angle there. No. Had to release the tiniest bit, and that lost me all of that speed. Had to release in the air and lost like 50, 60 speed. It's not good. I'll go straight through that section early up for a little improvement. Okay. Getting back into our line here. All right, early up. Not early enough, but that's okay. We can still improve here. Dang, if I had... I released a little bit because I was scared. Around here, early up. Gotta keep as close to that edge as possible. Early up, there we go. Oh, that would have been it. That would have been such a good run right there. Late up that time, but that's okay. Nice, good speed, good speed. 1/10 behind exactly. We need to, early up there, but we need to get a really low landing here. Almost have a perfectly low landing on our PB, but need just a tiny bit more speed. Honestly, that arrow is like the perfect target. You want to aim for that arrow. They give you a good line for it. Oh, there we go. 500ths. Okay, there we go. Nah, dang. You might be able to shoot a little bit farther, but you definitely want as low of a landing as possible on that section. And you want to maintain your straight line if you can, too. Nope. Go as inside as possible into the finish. Yeah, you want to go low to the right, of course, reducing your distance. Nice, low, super low landing there. And boom, let's go. 15,753 puts me at number 8 in Oregon. Let's go. Beautiful. 549 in the US. Definitely could improve on that one, and I think I will come back to this one later. But that was a beautiful run. Feel really good about that one. Made it into the top 10 in Oregon. Heck yeah. Week 54, track 2, Rustic. Looks like we got a lot of plastic here. Called Rustic, though. Last time they had a name that like implied something old school, like there's nostalgia. They had different interactions with stuff, so I'm wondering if this is like old plastic. Technically there was no plastic in the beginning when the game first came out, but there were certain objects that you could get plastic bounces off of. So I'm a little curious what's going on here. Dang. Okay, so you need to go a little far to the left so you can go kind of wide down that hill. You want to go as straight as you can across this plastic section. I know I'm freaking OCDing the start when I haven't even seen past the second checkpoint yet. Okay, so we go around this corner. You got to keep as much speed as you can. That plastic... Oh, there's a booster there. I just realized there's a booster under that. go. Want to maintain your contact down that hill. Definitely. There we go. Much more speed. That wasn't a booster? Huh. Looked like a booster. Is that author metal? Yes, author metal. Okay. Always easy enough to get the author metal. Rustic 18.9, so 19 seconds will probably get you that author metal. We're gonna try to improve on that though. I felt like there was a booster there, but it didn't do anything for me. There is totally not a booster there, even though it feels like it or looks like it. Huh. Interesting. Actually, just aesthetic. It's kind of rare. Even if they use like boosters and stuff for decoration, a lot of the time those boosters are still active. But the fact that that one does nothing is really weird to me. Almost a half a second improvement on that. Love to see it. 14.4. And we're 86 in Oregon, making big jumps already. AT is 19. Why do you, dude, what do you want me to join the party for? We're doing Discovery. $19.9 for author time. That seems pretty slow. Around the corner there, nice and smooth. Much speed as we can maintain through each one of these sections, and boom, another 0.1 improvement. Only got us like 3 spots in the US though, or in Oregon, I mean. We can still make some good improvements here. Oh, lost some contact on that downhill section. Straight across there. You don't want to slide out. If you slide out, then you're going to lose your speed. So you want to try to stay as straight as you can through that plastic section. And this one too, you want to try to maintain a forward angle as much as you possibly can. If you go sideways at all on plastic, it will slow you down immensely. It's a weird surface. Like, it is easy to slide on, but also has high friction, which doesn't make a ton of sense, but that's the nature of plastic. A little bit of extra speed there. Boom, 0.09, basically 0.1 improvement. 76, we'll take that. Got lots of CPU usage. Invited an hour ago. What up, dude? And he's not in the party now. We can get ourselves in the number 50. We're trying to get at least in the top 50 in Oregon in each one of these before we move on. Ooh, that was a beautiful line. all of our speed there. Losing some speed through this final section though. Oh, unfortunate. We were so far ahead right there. Going through here. Nice line. Not as good as that last one, but we still maintain a lot of speed. Nice tight turn there. Keeping some speed. Tight line there. Oh, dang it. Little wide around that last turn, unfortunately. Perfectly straight across that plastic section. Lost so much speed right there. Went so wide. Wasn't even trying to. Nice and straight across the plastic there. 0.2 ahead, that's good. Oh, barely brushed that upright with our back tire. That is super unfortunate. And bumped the wall. Getting too close to everything now. Nope. Not quite straight enough. Definitely want to go as straight as absolutely possible through that section. There we go. It's about as good as it gets. 0.23. Can we carry that into the finish though? That's the question. No! Oh my god. Nice, straight across that plastic. Keeping all of our contact there. 0.238, even faster this time. Tight through the corners. Boom! Almost exactly kept that 0.23 all the way into the finish there. Number 62 in Oregon. Could do a little bit better, but this is a tough track. Precision, definitely very much precision. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, it has been a while. How you doing? Merry Christmas. Thanks for popping in. You're gonna notice we're doing short streaming now. That's just because I'm broke, not because it's kind of unintentional. But yeah, thanks popping in. Good to see you, man. Merry Christmas for sure. I'm not sure how you say that in Italian, but and I don't want to try because I'd probably end up sounding super racist or something. How you been? There we go. Nice straight across the plastic. Maintain all of our speed through that section. Straight across there. Almost sniped it away from myself. The plastic, definitely the plastic makes this tougher than most other surfaces for sure. This first section, just right here at the start, you got to get across the plastic like perfectly straight, and you got to barely miss that wall section there. Skip as much of that grass as possible. Just recognizable name, I suppose. Yeah. have pretty good memory. I try to remember people as much as possible. I appreciate each and every one of you. That's what that means. Yeah, man. Buon Natale. Interesting. That's how you say Christmas? Natale? Buon Natale. Interesting. Well, Merry Christmas. Or Good Christmas. That's what buon means. Good. Good Christmas. Probably gonna move on to the next one. We got 62 here. We're doing all right. Definitely would like to get a little bit of improvement there, but that plastic section at the start makes it difficult for sure. That's such a Virgo thing. Oh, yeah. That is indeed a Virgo thing to do. Very sentimental. Yeah. Very sentimental. Okay, so we go down here. Maintaining our contact. Whoa. Okay. This is fun. Multiple layers there. Ah, we need to get through there smoother for sure. Interesting. There's a booster there and an engine off. What? Yeah, thanks for coming back. Good to have returning viewers. Was that even worth it? Oof. Didn't give me anywhere near enough speed to get over that. Okay, well, we're gonna try this path a couple more times before I attempt something else. This is just a fun path that I accidentally found and I like it, so we're gonna stick with it here. Ooh, that was a rough transition there. Okay, so clearly you can't just go straight from platform to platform. That is a tight gap, too. Ladies. Oh, there's an engine off. No matter what. Okay. Might be able to jump over that engine off. Silver only. Alright. How did I do the first map? Got a 15,701. Well, you're actually doing faster than me. The first map, pretty easy. You just want to get like as close as you can at the start there where it does that little kind of downhill transition around that fence, and you want to get a nice early up, and then you just take the left path and shoot yourself into the finish line, like jump over it or whatever. Oof. Definitely, I mean, it's a pretty simple run. Really, it just comes down to like reducing your distance between each section. You want to take as tight a line as possible around every corner. 15,701. Yeah, you're actually 200ths ahead of me. I'm 15,723, I think is where I'm at. Okay, well, we got there a little bit faster. That was a second improvement. Can we skip that engine off? That's the question. I want to know if I can skip that engine off. I feel like this is probably the better path to start. Nice and smooth. Maybe going to the left from there, though. Might seem unintuitive, but we're gonna try it. Going to the left here. Whoa. Okay, yeah, if we go to the left there and we don't smash into stuff, we can actually probably catch that booster. Totally. Yes, if we can land on that booster. Yeah, let me get a good finish on this and I'll go back to the first one and I'll show you what I got going on for my run. Oof. You go a little bit higher here. There we go. No. Dang it. Okay. I knew that was a bad approach, but I was hoping. Okay. Nice downhill here. Go around that. There we go. Hit that booster. Did not give me speed though. Oh yeah, I did. 3,000. Oh my god. What an improvement. That's funny. Okay. So the other path was definitely better. Yeah, we got a 15,753. So you're actually 0.052 ahead, but yeah, I'll show you what I got doing it here. So go. Want to get as close to this fence as absolutely possible. Nice early up there if you can, and then go across this section. You want to land low onto that rod. So probably I would say the most important part of this whole path is that transition. Getting a really low landing and keeping all of your speed is really important there. Honestly, you can make up for a lot elsewhere, but that landing, you gotta be like, you basically gotta land as early on that as possible. Just got 15 seconds. The last checkpoint. Oh no. Dang, yeah, that would have been really up there. Would have probably put you in the top couple hundred, like overall. Yeah, this one is honestly a really simple map. It's a lot of fun though. Probably because of the fact that it's so simple. But anyway, yeah, getting this early up here makes a huge difference. You want to get as early up there as possible and maintain your contact with the road. And then that transition right there makes the most difference. You want to land smoothly, but you want to land as early as you possibly can so that you can maintain all of your speed. The less time spent in the air, the better, of course. So you get it nice. And that arrow, honestly, that arrow is like the best target. You want to go a little bit further to the left, or jump from the left a little bit. From the left to the right. So you go a little bit further to the left there. And if you can get like the perfect approach, you literally hit that pavement with your tires instantaneously. So we go up there, that was a little late, but it's better. You see the point. And then you jump nice and low there and try to get into the right side of the finish. Top 70 in Italy. Dang. Yeah, I'm number 8 in Oregon. 550 in the world. So you're probably like just outside the top 500, huh? So we go nice early up there. Try to get as early as possible. Of course, that wasn't perfect. Oh, actually, that was really good. I released a little bit. I shouldn't have. Nice early up there, keeping all of our speed. Dang. And now there is a couple of different angles or approaches that you can take to that. But ultimately it's all about your jump angle, because you want to land low, so you got to jump it like a shallow enough angle. Almost feels like RNG in a way, but you do actually have a lot of control over that. And I keep hitting that fence too. That's another thing I've been having issues with. So you want to go early up there. Riding along that awning piece is fine, because it's got full contact, it's a full grip. Technically a building platform. Ooh, that was really close. Yeah, so really just the goal here is just to have as low of a transition in this spot as absolutely possible. The lower transition, the better, because you can get an earlier landing, picking up more speed into the finish, and it just carries all the way into the end. And of course, I mean, this is a really short track, so even just the tiniest bit of improvement is going to make a huge difference leaderboard wise. There's no way left is faster. Okay. Well, let's see. I actually haven't even done the right finish. I have been told that the left finish is the record finish. So let's see, right finish. I haven't even done the right finish, so we're gonna find out here. Oh yeah, maybe? I don't know. If you can skip that sand, it might be faster. Nice even run there. A little high, but that's okay. How far? 2.7? Yeah, I don't know. I think the left one is faster. Let's see, let's go. Keep 198. If we can keep contact there. No, I think the right finish is slower. If you went to the left finish, you might even be 14 something. Well, maybe not. There we go. Nice and low. Yeah, it's definitely slower. Need to not jump. Yeah. Maintain contact on the ground. I definitely noticed that the first time, but it took me a second to get used to the angle there. Yeah, you want to go as low as possible, maintain contact here, and straight in the finish, but I'm losing 0.1 on that every time. Yeah, I would say the left is faster, because I'm losing 0.1 on that every time. Just hitting that sand is like a lot. Hitting that sand loses a ton. Let's see, so I'm 1, 2, 3. Ooh, gained airtime, but maybe I almost didn't lose time on it that run, but yeah, I would say the left is faster. Because I'm losing time every run. 155. Oops. Yeah, that would have been, I would have lost on that one, definitely. Yeah, the left one I would say is faster. It may not seem like it, but it is. Oh, that was almost the perfect landing. Back tires clipped just a tiny bit. Yeah, so on the left one, you want to jump off of the little bump in the road into the finish. It's set up pretty simple. You don't really have to do anything, but You want to try to get as close to the right side of that finish as possible. I guarantee you'll make an improvement in your first couple of finishes. Dang. Yeah. Getting an early up here makes a huge difference. Even going a little wide is kind of good so that you can get up earlier. But the earliest up that you can get there, the better. And you want a nice, super low landing, as absolutely low as possible in that transition. And then, yeah, the left side. I mean, I don't know how you would improve on the right side, just that sand. If you can somehow skip that sand, reduce your friction across it, possibly like pop yourself up on 2 tires or something. But I mean, I would be willing to bet the left side is much faster. Well, not much, but like 0.1 faster. I know I can improve here. Ah, dang it. Just slightly too low every time. Really need that super low transition. You want to land as early as absolutely possible. See, because I have to go so wide. 365, 429. Yeah, it's slower. The right side is slower. Like I said, unless you can somehow pop up onto 2 tires or something and like avoid the friction of the sand, otherwise, like, I don't see any way that the right side would be faster. Oh, let's go. Let's go. Oh, perfect tie. No way. Oh my God. That is crazy. I just perfectly tied myself. Oh man. Ah. Nice early up there. Beautiful. Beautiful. Twice in a row. Let's go. Let's go. Yo, yeah. Let's go. Almost in the top 5 in Oregon. Damn it. Wow, way inside the top 500 though already. Yeah. Managed to get a little bit of an improvement there, but that put us inside the top 500 at least. Nice early up there. Beautiful transition, a little slow. But yeah, there we go. Beautiful run. I enjoy this track. It's just so simple. It's so simple. It's not like super freaking demanding tech or anything like that. It's just such a simple track. I really enjoy it. Hell yeah. Santa's Dock by Cheese Krieger. Is that what I just said? Or what I just saw? Santa's Harbor. Okay, we gotta go back on that one. It is by Cheese Krieger. Santa's Dock by Cheese Krieger. Okay. Some people have hilarious names in this game, I swear. Alright. We go nice and tight down there. Wood platforms. Whoa. Okay. I see. So this is a wood track. Whoop. Uh-huh. Okay, so you can almost go straight across that section. Get a nice line up there. Boom. Okay. Yeah. It's just rigged. No. Oh my god, dude. Wow. That's rough. I'm sorry. Yeah, if you had a faster time than me going on the right path, you must have been screaming into that, dude. That's crazy. $21 for the gold medal. All right, so you can pretty much go straight across this section. Nice and tight there. Ah, man. Couldn't turn tight enough. Going too fast, actually. So we go pretty much straight there. And then, oof, yeah, you got to get into that earlier. Okay. You might even be able to actually go, like, legitimately straight across that. Nice. Oh, hit the edge. Wood, man. High-speed wood is stressful. Just because oh, clip that corner? Really? High-speed wood is stressful just because it's so sensitive. At least to me. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. One thing about wood, though, is if you're turning on wood, the more that you turn on wood, the more you accelerate, which is weird. Wood has a thing about, like, I don't know, it's just got weird physics, kind of. Oh, that little pop right there. Boom! Got that author medal. Almost inside the top 50 in Oregon. Santa's Harbor, okay. Yeah, so the trick there on the first track is to kind of take the center. So in that last part, right as you jump into the finish, you want to kind of take the center part of that little bump for your jump into the finish. Otherwise, if you go too far to the right, it's just slightly too low and you'll actually smash into the road on the other side. So it does take a little bit of setup, but once you figure out the angle, it's actually pretty easy. You can risk pretty hard on that last section and still get into the finish, just because of the way that it's shaped. It is definitely intended to give you that angle no matter what. Oof. Hitting that corner again. This is gonna be tough for me. I do not like high-speed wood. Oh, beautiful turn there. Okay. Oh no, damn it. I had so much potential. Turning too tight now. Nice. Ah, man. Yeah, that is a tight gap. I don't know if that would even be faster, to be honest. It might be, but only just because you can angle yourself tighter. Oh man, those presents. They're in the worst places, like intentionally. That's one thing. I hate when somebody builds like a really good map and then like intentionally freaking puts obstacles in your way to ruin the path. Like, it could be so smooth and such a fun route, but then they freaking throw a tree or a pile of freaking invulnerable boxes in your way, and you like it totally screws the whole path. I hate why people do that. Ah! That last wood section is gonna be cancer to me. Speed slide? A little bit. Damn. Had more speed in my PB and it just snowballed somehow. There we go. Ah! Going too fast, couldn't turn. Whoa. Too far to the right. Too far to the right. Damn it. Once again, lagging a little bit. I don't know how I can I don't think there's any way I can actually fix that at this point. No! Man, I had such a good run there. This Santa's Harbor is tough. Being able to go straight through the starting section is nice. There we go. Oh my God, what a beautiful run. That was much better. Yo, almost in the top 10 in Oregon just like that. Right outside the top 500 in the US. If I had a little bit of an earlier turn onto that wood section, I had like the perfect angle into the finish though. That was actually a really good run. You hate map 5. Well, that's good to know. Gives us something to look forward to. Alright, well, I'm gonna see if I can't get one more improvement on this. Dang, you gotta go. You definitely want to go straight through that section. There we go. A little bit. There we go. Oh, man. Okay. Well, we got the idea, though. I'm pretty locked in on this one now. Made it to number 11 in Oregon. Feel good about that. 523 in the U.S. We will take that for now. We'll move on to the next one. This is map 5 of week 54. Protano said that they hate it. 8th Christmas present. Okay. It is a snow reactor desert car reverse 08. That is probably the most disgusting combination of things I've ever said in my life. Oh my God. Go around that. Jeez. We got gold medal. We got author medal on a reset? What? 19.8 and we got author medal after resetting. I almost can't even believe that. Reverse 08. Oh my gosh, I should have seen the 08 in the freaking title and just known. Oh man. This is bad. I understand why you hate this track now. Oh, freaking present right in the way. That was a good angle, though. If that present hadn't been in the way. Oh, no. Freaking full lagged out that time for a second. Okay. Go left. And then right. Oh, we missed. Oh, dang it. Okay. So that star is the marker for that present. So we want to go to the left of that star. There we go. Nice, actually. That was a good time. Managed to make it inside the top 50 in Oregon with that. Jeez, this is a rough one. Apparently, you're not the only one that hates this track. Honestly, I don't know if I hate it. Not really my favorite. I do like the hill climb idea of it, though. There is a lot to there's a ton of nuance to this. It's kind of hard to tell, but there is really actually a lot of different little techniques and movements that you can do on each one of these little uprights. Get straightened out on each one, do a little snap up the hill, give yourself a little bit of extra speed, and you want to get onto that ice as soon as possible, of course, because it has less friction. So you go up there, straight up here, you go a little wide, and then you want to get up onto this ice path as soon as possible. It isn't bad. It's not the most fun style, though. The snow kind of makes it feel like somewhat of a chore, but boom, a little bit of an improvement there. 16.5. That gets us in the top 30 in Oregon. Geez, yeah, nobody's playing this one apparently. So if we go really wide to the left, I want to see if we go really wide to the left, it gets us there a little bit earlier. And we go back to the right, tight to the right, onto the ice, and boom, another big improvement. Nice, top 20. Got inside the top 1,000 in the US with that. If we so the sooner that we can reverse through that first checkpoint, the better. There's actually a ton of nuance here. There's a lot of little things that you can do. Snapping up the hill a little bit, give yourself some more speed. You want to go tight through that checkpoint, so you got a pre-turn because you're on snow. Of course, it's got a slide factor to it, so you want to pre-turn that and go straight up that hill as much as possible. Nice early there, and then onto the road. If you can go straight through that second checkpoint onto the road sooner, you might be able to get there a little bit faster. Reverse 08 though, I'm honestly surprised nobody's thought about this before. Like going up in 08 instead of down. Honestly, I like this better than going down, not gonna lie. There we go. Nice straight line, using the road to our advantage. There could be an improvement to be made there on that path. Nice and straight, nice and straight. Early turn. We snap out of it. Oof. Yep. Slid a little too much in between the checkpoints. You want to set your angle and then just go straight. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Huge improvement. Almost inside the top 10. Dang. I'm actually doing really good this week. This is some of my best scores ever. Like, overall. A little bit of a snap there. Wiggle. Ah, man. We were actually slightly ahead at the bottom. Even though I clipped that corner, which is interesting. Nice early turn through that. Early turn through that. And yeah, nice. Another little improvement. Didn't get us any positions in Oregon, but that did get us a couple positions in the United States. That was an absolutely beautiful run. The 08th Christmas present. That's funny. I don't know why I didn't notice that immediately, the 08. Should have been obvious. Yeah, you want to get early through that checkpoint, as early as possible. So you kind of got to pre-turn. Like, before you get there, you got to start turning yourself back in the opposite direction. Pre-turn, nope, not soon enough. We can take a nice straight line there. Oh, and we hit that plastic. So that's another thing though too, is because I think all of these decorations are plastic, there is potential that you could use the decorations actually to bump yourself into a faster line. As much as I hate the desert car too, for some reason it feels right here. Just the way that the desert car handles is much more like a brick. It feels kind of like a brick. It has much more of a snowboard type aesthetic. Really good at this one? Well, I appreciate that. I don't know why, but it feels right. I love the snowboarding style. Little snaps make a big difference. Really, that's the big thing, is like a little snap, just a tiny snap on every hill gives you just a little bit of speed. And if you can freaking get a nice straight line, then you can carry your momentum up the hill, like your angle. If you start yourself at an angle and then point straight up, like, it'll carry that angle all the way through because of the way that you slide across the snow. So you don't have to readjust. Basically, you set your angle right here and then straight. You want to go straight up from there. Set your angle here, go straight up from there. Little snap on every one. Early turn through that checkpoint. Little snap here. And that freaking present. You got to make it around that present. I've been smashing into it a bunch here, but I'm trying to make an improvement, so I've got to really risk on these corners. Nice and straight up through there. Dang it. Hitting that present again. This one is, like I said, for some reason, this one kind of just speaks to me. It's a fun style. There we go. Oh, didn't get up that hill early enough, but that kind of gives you the idea. You want to aim just to the outside of that one present up on the flat where that star is. That star is your marker for where the present's at. You see that star right there? So you want to end up just on the outside of that. Yeah, I haven't really done a lot of snowboarding in my life, but it is something that I enjoy. And it's another one of those things that kind of just speaks to me. Yeah, and you want to go straight up from that checkpoint if you can, because you want to get over that hill as soon as possible, so you can conserve as much of your speed as absolutely possible. Right there. You want to get up as soon as you can, but you also want to go to the right side because it's closer to the finish. So oh, didn't turn early enough there, but there are a couple of potential routes that you can take here that would work, but I think what my PB's doing is probably the best. Nice, up, up, early turn there, up, up, early turn there, hit that dang present. If I hadn't hit that present, that would have been PB. Shit. Up, up, early turn here, up, up, early turn there, and once again on the outside, so we're not gonna get into the finish line as quick, but we had more speed there. Slightly more speed. Set your angle, go up, up, early turn. I did not turn early. The reverse 08. I don't know why, but this is like, it seems super unique to me. I don't know why, but just reverse 08 is like, nobody's ever done this before. And like, why has nobody ever done this before? You know what I mean? Like, going downhill with the bumps is so frustrating. Like, you have zero control. I don't know why anybody would want, like, why did that become such a thing? Like, honestly, like, I feel like 08s belong in khaki. Or Bonk Cup. One of the two. Bonk Cup would probably be a better place for it. But early turn there. Nice, up, up, early turn, up the hill. Nope, dang. Too tight around that last checkpoint. So, again, there is a lot of nuance to this. It feels like a very simple track, but the combination of the snow with the reactor, it gives you a lot more control to like the nuance, if that makes sense. Like it gives you a lot more freedom. Like you can really decide how you want your vehicle to move. Oh shit. With the reactor, because of the way that the snow and everything runs. Almost in the top 5 in Oregon, so close. Ah, well, that was probably about as good as I'm gonna get right now. Really close to that last present. You want to get as nice and close as you can and super early up on that last plateau, and then ride the ice into the finish, reduce your friction. So again, little snaps up every hill, little snaps early around that present, up on that hill as soon as possible, and straight across that ice to reduce your friction. At the last checkpoint and left finish. Yeah, okay, with the first track. It's, oh dang, inside the top 2K on that one? 1900? Damn! Hell yeah. I got 2 tracks. I'm almost inside the top 2K. Oh, that's cool. Those ones line up almost perfectly. That's interesting. It looks like they're almost two parts of the same track. The way that that roof piece lines up is like perfect. That's kind of wild. That one almost lines up with that one too, but just not as well. That's crazy. Those two almost look like they're the same track or part of the same track. So we'll go back to the first one again here just for a couple of minutes. So really the biggest thing here is you want to go a little bit right and early up. You want to get as early up on this section as you possibly can. And I also made the comment that actually going in first person on this track might be a good idea. And you want to go really low transition there. As low transition as possible, like just short of freaking clipping your tires. Ah, damn it. That fence always screws me. You want to go a little right there so you can go really early up here. Again, that was even slower. You want to go nice and low. It's really hard to get a low transition there, like as low as you want and not freaking clip the road, because you really got to be like just over it. Like you want your tires to hit the road pretty much as soon as you get there. Like the exact moment that it's under you. So getting the right angle in that transition is tough. That's probably going to be the toughest part of the whole thing in my opinion, but the finish to the left is super easy. Damn it, I keep hitting that fence. Didn't even look like I hit it that time. Damn it. I'm all jittery now. Up. It wasn't that early, but up here. I'm trying to transition too low now. Early up. Not very early. In fact, I was really behind. How was I so far behind that time? There we go. That's like caught air there or something. That transition really makes the biggest difference. Because if you can hit the road immediately and get yourself almost, you want to hit the road pretty much instantly so that you can start turning left right away. You want to reduce your parabola on this turn as much as possible. And then you can just go straight into the finish there. It, like, really the biggest part is that transition. If the earlier you can get that transition, the earlier that you can turn to the left, the faster you can get into that finish. And it's basically just a straight shot. Like, there's no adjustments. You just want to get around that corner as tight and early as possible. It really does just come down to that transition. Damn it. Early up. And then right, oh, that was almost it. I was just a little low there. There we go. It was a little past it, but, and then you could just whoop right into the finish there. It is a really simple route. And there, really the biggest thing is, like, it's gonna come down to who's got the tightest angle. Like, you want the lowest transition possible here and the tightest angle into the finish. Because the tighter you can go around that turn, the sooner you're gonna get into the finish, and the better time you're gonna have. It really does come down to that transition. Like, getting the earliest turn up here is good too. You want to get as early as you can, because that's automatically going to reduce your distance, and it's gonna make a huge difference because of the fact that this is an uphill section. The longer that you spend on the hill, the slower you're going to be going overall. Early transition there, still not quite early enough. You really want like an instant transit, like you want to hit that road the instant that it is under you. So you really just got to get like the perfect angle of approach to that. Like there is, if you go from right here and aim straight for that arrow, that's pretty much the best target. So like what your goal should be here is actually like when to turn down so that you can hit that arrow as soon as possible. Like you want to aim for that arrow. It is really the perfect target. You want to aim for that arrow in the transition. So really the goal is when to turn, like when to dip down. Like right here. When to dip down is what makes the biggest difference. Right about that line is where you want to dip this second line. You're not going to really see it while you're going across. But you know, 1, 2, and then maybe 3, and then transition there. But really the goal is to figure out what's the best angle to approach that at. And you basically want to shoot straight for that arrow. And that's going to give you the best angle possible, I think. Early up, nice early up. Oh man, once again, so close. Clipping the back tire. Way high that time. That was a very safe line. There we go. Straight through that. Oh man, that transition every time, so close. A little high. Yeah. And you just want to get as early as you can into the right side of that finish. It is really kind of an easy track, but there's just the nuance there in the center. That landing really makes the biggest difference. I'm really happy with my results here, just outside the top 3K. I think I want to improve on that one so I can get myself inside the top 3K on that. We're going to get ourselves inside the top 3K on this one before we finish in the stream today. Nice straight line here. Nope. Oh! Big bump there. That was unfortunate. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Check out the links in the description. Come find me over on Twitch. You watch the full screen version. Appreciate everyone for being here. We've actually had lots of activity in the shorts feed. Kind of surprisingly, I am not doing this because I want to. In fact, I'd rather not be doing the shorts feed, but because of the fact that I don't have money, thanks to Christmas, to pay for my Streamlabs Ultra, we are doing short feed streaming, and it seems to be getting a fair amount of attention, more than suspected, so definitely do hit that subscribe button. I've got a few subscribers recently doing this too, so appreciate everyone for being here. We do this every Tuesday, Trackmania Tuesday. Stream Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday every week, and we got near daily content on the channel. Otherwise, drop shorts, highlights from my streams, and Sometimes we'll do some standalone videos. I got one that I'm working on right now, and if you are more into the high effort, long form type content, I also have a second channel now called TDM Archive. That is where I'm going to be putting my lore videos. There's currently a lore video for the First Descendant up there. I got another video that I was planning on putting up probably in the next couple of days, so look out for that. And we got a third video that is in the works. It's on the way. So hope that we see you over there. Again, check it out. That is at the Dead Man Archive or TDM Archive. Dang. This is gonna be a tough one to improve. Whoa! That was like full stop right there. That was kind of crazy. Nice speed slide. Let's see if we can make it through this section. Oops. Not faster. Nope. It's just not faster. Nope. Usually the red path is faster, but that one is not. Speed slide. Not good enough though. I don't know how I managed to maintain so much speed through that on my PB. Oh, the wall. Dang it. If I hadn't hit that wall. There we go. Dang. That last turn actually makes a big difference. Hadn't really thought about that being the defining angle or whatever, but the determinative section. Oh man, again, hit that wall. Yeah. That's going to be a tough one to improve. I'm kind of wondering, like, what big tricks can be done here, because there's a lot of people ahead of me. Dang. Yeah, there's a lot of people ahead of me on this one. Well, maybe we're not going to get the improvement I was hoping for there, but we are inside the top 5,000, I would say, probably overall, just off of these 3 tracks. The Christmas present track is kind of interesting, the 08th Christmas present. It is a unique one. Definitely the uphill 08 is one that I can't say that I've ever seen before. And somehow it makes me like Desert Car, which is definitely an achievement on its own. So hope that everybody enjoys this week's tracks. Again, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Come back tomorrow, come back Friday, and come back again next Tuesday. We do Trackmania every week. Sometimes I'll stream just random days. So be sure and come check it out. Appreciate everyone for being here. Thanks for popping in, Nat. Thanks for being here, Piltano. Nice to see you again. Plot. Is it Pilton or Plotten? No, it is Pilton. Yeah, I was right. Okay. I was gonna say. I'm pretty sure I remember that right. In any case, thank you again for being here. If you want to see the horizontal view, head on over to Twitch, hit the link in the description, come give me a follow over there. Even if you don't want to watch on Twitch, come give me a follow anyway. Greatly appreciate you. Hope that everyone enjoys the new tracks. Have a wonderful week. Merry Christmas, because we say Merry Christmas around here. Stay safe, stay warm, and as always, trust in the Bloodlust. Ronaldin? That just made it more confusing for me. Everyone have a good week.